Everybody, and welcome. And I'm super excited. Happy Friday. We're just going to give everybody a bit of time to get signed on. Ada, you're the first one in. Hello. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or evening, or whatever time it is for you. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, everybody. All right. So we're just going to give everybody a bit of time to get signed on for today's cultural moment. I'm super excited for this week's cultural moment. I haven't chatted with this person in a little bit, and I'm super excited to have her on. But of course, I need you to guess who it's going to be. So this counselor, she was here last summer, and she has been for the past 2 summers. Some program areas that she worked in 2017, she was on the CA staff. And then 2018, she moved on over to Quest. And last year, she was on our leadership team. So any guesses? Those are your first few guesses for today's cultural moment. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you all. Happy Friday. All right, so any guesses for this week's cultural moment? So far, we have that she was in creative arts her first summer back in 2017. She was in Quest the year after, and then on leadership last year. Also, if you have been coming to our virtual events, she has performed, whether that be on Instagram or on our campfires. You've seen her face recently. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. So we're just going to give everybody a little bit of time to sign on, and I need to see some guesses for who this week's cultural moment is. So she was here 2017 to 2019, worked in creative arts, was on leadership last year. Bump, bump. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Ooh, Ada, you might be onto something. So we're super excited because this week we have Jade.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
It's so good to see your face.
I know, it's so good to see you. I literally just dyed my hair, so I look a bit different.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Is it pink?
Yeah, it's like pink.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I'm like, oh my god.
That's
Hi,
amazing.
how are you?
What a way to debut it, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
How are you
doing
doing?
great. I'm so good. It's finally warm enough for me to be on the front porch, so
It
that's
looks
where
sunny.
I am now.
Oh, miss it.
Oh, I missed it too. Oh, Molly loves your hair.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, so does Claire.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Claire.
that's so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, nice and summery. It's like, it's 4:00 here in the afternoon. So, it's been a day, honestly.
Nice. Yeah, I always forget about the time difference. I'm like, why aren't you answering me? Well, perfect. So, Jade, why don't I'm going to turn it over to you. You could introduce yourself, tell everybody where you're from, and tell us a bit about your country.
Okay, well, my name's Jade. Like Jake said, I went to camp 2017. I was in CA, and then 2018 I was in Quest, and last year 2019 I was the creative arts director, which was really fun. So love camp. Woo. I'm from England, if you didn't guess. Some people think I'm from Australia, but no, I'm from England. And not because I'm like tan, just because apparently my accent's a bit weird. But yeah, so I'm from England. I'm from a city in the southwest of England. So like just down here. Not too far from the sea, probably like 30 minutes away from the sea, which is quite nice. But I live in quite a big, like, built-up city, so it's quite like a small London, really. And I've got some fun facts about England, if you guys wanted to know. I prepared some for you. So, did you know... Sorry, I'm like messing with my hair. I'm like, who am I? did you know that it is considered an act of treason to put a postage stamp of the Queen's head upside down on an envelope? If you do that, you can go to prison. It's disrespect and it's treason. You're going against the Queen, so you can get put in prison if you do that. This one's cool. I never heard this one. So in 1945, a flock of birds landed on the minute hand of the Big Ben, which is a big clock in London, and it put the time back by 5 whole minutes, and they had to go and like change it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's cool.
How long did it take them to realize that?
I don't know, but I think that's a cool fact. I didn't know that one.
Oh, that's so cool.
This is a bit of a gross one, sorry, but I still love it. King Henry VIII exploded in his coffin at his funeral, and all of the dogs licked up his remains, which is so grim, so gross.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and apparently that happened a lot to, like, in the Tudor times, lots of, like, kings and, like, if you were rich enough to have a funeral, like, lots of people exploded in their coffins from just, like, I don't know, the weird stuff that they did back then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm glad that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't know this one. The shortest war on record ever was fought between Zanzibar and England, and it lasted 38 minutes.
What?
Yeah, so I think Zanzibar surrendered, and that was the end of that war.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, this is another cool one that I didn't know. King Henry III had a pet polar bear, which he was given to by the King of Norway, and he used to keep the polar bear on a leash and just like have it around his palace and in the Tower of London, and it used to swim in the river Thames. Just so
no
weird.
way.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was cool.
Oh, that's wild.
There's more chickens than people in England.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Just lots of farmers, lots of chickens. Okay, and then my last fact. I've got some more stuff about food.
I love food.
cheese rolling. If you're English, you'll know what I'm on about. Cheese rolling is this weird tradition that we have. I think it's down in the south because southern people are weird. They have a massive roll of cheese and they roll it down a hill, and hundreds of people just run down the hill to chase it, and like people have ended up in hospital, like breaking their necks, breaking their arms and legs and stuff. It's crazy, but you just see all these people just like falling down the hill after this roll of cheese. So, yeah.
Have you ever been to it?
No, I'd love to go. I think that'd be really cool. They do it every year, so it's on TV sometimes.
Oh, that's camp.
And then, do you want to hear a little bit about some traditional foods?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay. Jake, what do you think bangers and mash is?
Ooh,
I think you already know.
Mash. So is that mashed potatoes?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the bangers? Is that like sausages?
Yeah, sausages.
Yes!
Yeah. So usually you'd have bangers and mash with like peas or baked beans, something like that.
Nice.
And then...
You know the only reason why I think I know that?
Why?
So one time I went to Harry Potter World, and all of their food, like in Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade and stuff, is all like English. They like peanut. I was like, oh.
That's cool.
Yeah, so cute.
I love that. I really want to go to Harry Potter World. Wait, was that in Florida?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I've actually been there, but like the year it opened, so it wasn't really like finished, but it was cool.
It's so cool. Highly recommend it.
Okay. And then this is a weird one, sorry. So full English breakfast is bacon, sausages, eggs, baked beans, toast, mushrooms, tomatoes, hash browns, and do you know what black pudding is? I don't know.
No, what's black pudding?
Do you have it in America?
I have no idea.
It's really gross. I don't eat it, but like I don't care if anyone does. But it's pig's blood, like
what?
in a yeah. So it's really weird. Like it's part of a traditional English breakfast to have black pudding, and it's made out of pig's blood.
Oh wow! Is
Yeah.
it like, what's the consistency on that? Is it like regular pudding?
Yeah, it looks like a regular pudding and it's black, obviously, because it's called black pudding. But it doesn't. I've had it before. It doesn't taste that bad. But the thought that that's what it's mainly made out of is a bit gross. But yeah, those are my like fun facts.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing.
That's all right.
All right, so next up, we'll take some questions from our audience. So those of you that are watching, feel free to ask Jade your questions about England in the comments. My first two questions that I have to ask every single person are, number one, what is like, so I've been to England once. I actually only went for a weekend, so I didn't get to see too much. So if I were to come back to England, what is like the one thing that I have to see, have to go do?
Well, if you're really lucky and you can get tickets, I think Glastonbury is like a really huge deal in the UK. It's the biggest festival that we have. It's just like kind of like, what's the biggest festival in America? It's like compared to that for us. Like, I don't know, it's like Coachella, but in England. And like
cool.
all the most famous like artists and bands play there, and it's a whole week, so it's like it's a big thing. It would be cool if we could go.
So fun.
And another thing, one more other thing, I think the Stonehenge is pretty cool. Do you know what Stonehenge is?
I don't.
You don't? Oh right, so it's
No.
like it's not far from my house actually. I've seen it quite a few times, but it's this like these like huge rocks kind of piled onto each other, but they're huge, and it's kind of like a bit of a mystery how they were made, because they were made like thousands of years ago, so like there's no way that they could have lifted these huge rocks on top of each other kind of thing without like machinery. So it's a bit like I think it's one of the 7 wonders of the world, so that would be cool to see.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, and then my other question, what is like the most English way to say good morning, Camp Hazen? And then I'm going to try it, because I'm so good at accents.
Well, the way you say it in England is good morning, Camp Hazen. But I don't know. The most English way you could say it, I think for me, like from where I'm from, in the southwest, you would probably good morning, my lover, like that.
Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, my lover. Oh, that was so cringe.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take some questions from our wonderful viewers. Well, first of all, Beck says that you're posh.
I'm posh? No, I'm not.
Molly was wondering if you currently live in England.
Yes, I do. I live at my parents' house, so this is the bedroom that I was born in. I was going to say I was born in it. I wasn't born in it. That I grew up in. So yeah, and yeah, still live here.
I love all the posts about your dog. That's one of my favorite things.
Oh, Winnie. Oh, I love her so much. We gave her a shower today. She was a bit smelly.
Aww.
But didn't like it. She's such a good dog though. Oh, Jake, did you know that today in England's a very special day as well?
What's today?
It's called VE Day. So it's when the war ended. Victory of Europe, I think it's called.
Oh.
So it's like everyone's having celebrations in their house today. So my mum's done like a little tea party in the garden. It's really cute.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, happy VE Day.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I'm so excited that we got to have you on today.
Yay, me too. It's nice to meet you.
That's awesome. Okay, so next up. So what are you doing in quarantine? Like, what do you do to keep busy?
Dye my hair.
There you go.
Play guitar, obvious one. Just like I do like quizzes and stuff with my friends. We just like, I don't know, watch a lot of TV, play like games and stuff. There's this game, it's like a really old game on PS2 called Buzz. I don't know, heard of it, but you have like Do you have it? I love
No, I haven't heard of it.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
I thought you had it. it's so old. It's like 10 years old, but it's like a quiz game, but it's really fun. Been playing that, just like board games and stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, to be fair,
Oh,
it's
that's
not.
so cool.
I feel like quarantine isn't that dissimilar to my normal life, which is sad. Yeah.
All right, so next up,
What
my mom says hi.
Oh, hi, Jake's mom. Miss you.
And then hi, Cindy and Michelle as well.
Hi. Jake, how have you been doing?
How have I been doing?
Yeah, what's quarantine like at camp?
So we are running a camp care right now. So we have 6 boys in right now. And then on Wednesdays, we have one girl that comes in as well. So we got a nice little group here. So right now they're over playing some Gaga. We've gotten very into Beyblades. And
oh my god, I used to love
airplanes. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I learned how to play Magic the Gathering.
Oh really?
For the first time ever. Going on 7 years here, and I finally learned.
That's
actually
cool.
It's so fun.
I used to just like watch the boys play it. I get it. I was like, I don't.
Yeah, now that I know it, I'm addicted to it. All right, Claire wants to know what your favorite meal or favorite English meal or treat is to cook or bake.
I feel like we steal a lot of things from other cultures. So, my favorite meal that I cook in England is probably like stir fry, like Chinese style kind of thing, like chicken and like cabbage and just like lots of like veg and stuff with like a soy something. Yeah, probably that.
Nice. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, but I don't think that's traditionally English. And baking, I like baking just like brownies or like cakes. We have this like family tradition that we bake these things called rock cakes. Sound horrible. They're not rocks, but they're like, it's like the easiest recipe. It's just like 2 ingredients or something and you make this like little cake, but we've always made them. They're quite nice.
Nice. Wait, so wasn't there something, I remember you talking about it at one point, or maybe it was during another England cultural moment, but wasn't there some controversy over like what qualifies as a, tell us about like the cookies and the cakes and everything.
Yeah, don't quote me on this, I might be wrong, because I haven't actually ever like researched it. This is just something I remember hearing. But I think all the cakes in England get taxed. It's something to do with the Queen. It's like the Queen's tax or something. Like she taxes on like dairy and cakes or like something like that. I don't know. But there was a court case in like the 1990s, maybe a bit later, about like cake that was called a Jaffa cake, but they didn't want to put tax on it because they were like, no, it's a biscuit. But they did like all these like scientific like tests and stuff, and they, I think, ruled that it was a cake and that it needed to be taxed. So yeah, it was funny.
Oh wow, that's taking it seriously.
Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else that's watching have any more questions for Jade? So we'll give you a little bit more time. Ask your final questions, everybody. But yeah, so Jade, what's your like favorite thing about camp? Like, what was your favorite thing over the summer? Best
Scrolling
memory.
through, I don't think my things that I like, I don't even need to think about it. Like chapel is one of my favorite things about camp. I just love it. I think it's like it like calms everyone down. It's like really nice, and I don't know. It's not like crazy like campfire, but I love campfire too. But I think there's something about chapel that's just brings everyone together, but in a nice, quiet, calm, thoughtful way. I love it. What about you, Jake?
Too. See, I might be a little bit of the opposite. I love those, like, I love chapel and I love, like, the coming together at the end, but I also just absolutely love the high energy. Like, all camp days are one of my all-time favorite things. Like, when everybody's all gathered together cheering for their teams and everything, it's just so cool.
Yeah. I love
the team pride.
Love that. I think all camp days a bit like tainted for me because I think I'm during the all camp day.
Oh yeah.
So
That's true.
I
That
think
was the
that was
Olympics,
last.
right?
That I think I was like, which one was it? Yeah, it was the Olympics. I don't like the Olympics. No, I'm joking. I do. I love it.
And then Claire just asked you, when did you get into guitar and singing?
That's a good question. So my cousin played guitar, and she always used to like play at Christmas and just like family gatherings and stuff. And she was really good, and I thought she was really cool, and I looked up to her. She's like probably like 10 years older than me, and then she taught me how to play guitar when I was 16. So yeah, since I was 16, really just been like playing and singing. It's fun. I'm glad. I think playing an instrument is fun, especially when like you're in quarantine. Like it's something fun to do. So yeah,
Right.
be a good time to pick something up. I think if anyone wants to,
Yeah.
maybe order a keyboard off Amazon or something. Teach
That would
yourself
be
how to
so
play.
cool.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of ads that are like, learn how to play the keyboard, so it's tempting. That'd be so cool. I love when you perform at campfire. That's one of my favorite times as well. I think that's so cool.
Really? Maybe a lot of people are doing that then. Oh, I know.
Oh, I think we're having some technical difficulties. Can you hear me, Jade? I can't hear you. Hello. All right. I think the internet is being a little bit funky. Because I just can't hear Jade. But that was going to be, I think, our last question anyway. So I just want to say thank you so much to Jade for coming on out and doing our cultural moment. It was so good to see you, Jade. And I'll make sure I message you after if you can't hear me right now. And yeah, so thank you all for tuning in to Cultural Moment. And yeah, thank you, Jade, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, have a great rest of your night. Bye. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at Cultural Moment this week. Join us again next Friday. We're actually super excited because we're going to be starting something new in the coming weeks, alternating with Cultural Moment. We're going to start doing staff spotlights. So if there are any staff members from anywhere in the world, whether that's the United States, whether they were here 20 years ago, 10 years ago, or they might be working here now, we're going to be doing some staff spotlights. So we're super excited to start that as well. Also, please make sure you tune into all of our virtual camp events. We update Facebook as well as Instagram and camphazenymca.org/youth-family. And you could check us out there. But it was so good to see you all, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Have a great weekend.